if I ever met the devil, I would have to believe in God. And I wasn't even sure it was going to work in the first place. I was pretty doubtful, but I was open-minded and willing to give it a shot and see what comes out of this. Every ritual you ever do comes at a cost. There is so many hoops you have to jump through, so many things you have to give to the jinn just to get any kind of result.
Interesting title. I have not seen this video. I feel like as a convert to Islam, I'm definitely going to relate a lot to what this brother has to say. I can already feel myself kind of getting emotional because I definitely feel like living in LA and everything, I've lived that lifestyle as well. Subhanallah. Let's see what this brother says.
Of everything in life that you can be and all these paths that you can choose, the last thing I thought I would be in life is religious. And I don't mean
Yes.
like spiritual or just believe in God in general. I mean actually religious. I was fully atheist. Now, I was raised in a Christian household, but I myself was atheist when I got out of that. And because all the negatives I saw within the Christian church, I just turned my back on religion and God in general. And what's really fascinating about that is the devil kind of hid for me. The shaitan, evil, these kind of things, they hid. They went into silence. They tried to not exist. Whereas God was always there, but I was just not looking. I wasn't paying attention, and to be fair, I was kind of ignoring it. And I was never religious, and I didn't believe in God until I saw the devil. Now, not believing in God until you meet the devil isn't random. And I remember speaking to somebody, I wouldn't call him a friend, but somebody I'd met, and he was a Christian, and he was telling me about Jesus and his faith. And I was hearing what he was saying, but I wasn't really listening. And I told him, I was like, look, I don't believe in both. I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the devil. And he responded that the devil's all around us, and how could I not see it? Now, he was correct, but it was kind of hiding from me, and I think it hides from people as well. And I told him that if I ever met the devil, I would have to believe in God, and me and the devil would have some serious problems. Because if I were to see one, that means both is true. And if both is true, that means I have to pick a side, and it's pretty obvious the side you're going to pick. Now, initially through my studies, I thought everybody had it backwards because of Christianity, the Christian perspective on God and Jesus and in hell and heaven. And because of the manipulation within the Christian Bible due to Constantine, it really made it seem like God is evil. Isaiah 45:7, I believe that's the correct verse, I don't have it in front of me, where the Christian Bible claims God is evil. God creates evil and makes evil happen. Now we understand God created everything, but as far as makes happen, that is due to Iblis or the Shaitan. And that's just one verse, for example. There's many places within the Christian Bible where they have injected Mithraism for Christians to follow the sun god Mithras. This is a completely different conversation. I'll break it down one day. And this is what led me into the occult in the first place, is it just seemed like everybody had it backwards. Now, I do believe Christianity in different places of the country or different places of the planet are going to be completely opposite of this. But the churches I was raised around and saw were not good people. These were evil people, embezzlement, they were selling and trading substances back and forth, and everything I've seen was just bad. And so this is the main reason why I picked up the Lesser Key of Solomon and started studying the occult in the first place. So one day I decided just to jump into it. Things were kind of standing out to me. I was kind of getting pulled in this direction, and that's when I did my first ritual. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the ritual because it's completely irrelevant, but I got experiences on the first one. There's something required in every single ritual to make it work, and thankfully most people have it wrong. Most people don't know what this thing is, and I will never say what it is. But just by chance, I put that thing in this ritual. And so the experiences were insane. Now, I wasn't a full believer when I did this, so keep this in mind. Like, I didn't fully believe in anything whatsoever. I was still fairly atheist. And that's why I didn't care to do the ritual. It's because I didn't fully...
Okay, I'm actually scared now. Like, I got goosebumps. The Americans with like the kind of stuff they do, like the satanic stuff, it freaks me out, man. Seriously. I used to live in LA, guys. I used to live in LA. So like I've heard a lot of stories, seen a lot of stuff when it comes to I'm so freaking out. I've got goosebumps.
Believe in anything. And I wasn't even sure it was going to work in the first place. I was pretty doubtful, but I was open-minded and willing to give it a shot and see what comes out of this. Well, of course, it got an insane reaction. And that's where I felt panic mixed with curiosity, because one side of it was like, oh crap, I summoned a demon. What did I do? Was this wrong? Now, today I understand this is jinn, but I was questioning myself, like, did I do something really bad? What is going to come out of this? Is it going to be bad? And then the curiosity side mixed in. It's like, okay, can we do this again? And can we replicate it? And then what kind of results can we get by doing that? And so naturally, I just kept poking the bear. My curiosity got the best of me. I started diving in with different things. Now, thankfully, I didn't branch out much and start poking at everything in existence. There's some practitioners that like to play spiritual Pokemon, and they want to go after every spirit possible and try to have a connection with literally everything. I wasn't one of those people. I stuck to a few things and tried to get in really deep with them. But even still to this day, even speaking out against this, people still ask me how to do this all the time. And I want people to understand, I'm never going to explain this. I'm not going to tell you the missing pieces from most people.
Yeah, of course. Like, it's haram. Like, we don't do black magic-y type stuff. Guys, you shouldn't be asking that.
People's rituals. 99% of people, their rituals are pointless and they're never going to work. And I'm never going to teach how to do this. Every ritual you ever do comes at a cost. There is so many hoops you have to jump through, so many things you have to give to the jinn just to get any kind of result. And then the result you do get out of this is going to be one-sided. It's going to be so temporary and it's going to be taken away from you. And then you're going to have to do another ritual. And my biggest question in those people, because I still have some practitioners watching these videos, my biggest question is, if rituals worked, if they were truly effective and you gained something out of it, why are people doing rituals for 40 years? Why are they doing rituals for 30 years? Why are they doing it at all? If rituals seriously worked and these occult practices weren't one-sided, why do people have to continuously do them over and over and over again? If they worked, your protection ritual would protect you permanently. Your money rituals would grant you money forever. Your love rituals, you would get married immediately and it would never divorce. These things don't work. They are one-sided, they are temporary, and you are going to lose. There's no way to win. You can't negotiate with the jinn. But that being said, I made that promise that day whenever I was talking to that individual, that if the devil ever showed himself to me, he made a big mistake, because that means he's real. And there's this big quote in the West, people might have it in other countries too, where they say that the biggest trick the devil ever played was that he hid that he existed, or something along those lines. And for a long time, I never understood this quote. I didn't believe it. I was like, what? He just hid himself? That's not a trick. That's not fooling anybody whatsoever. People know the devil exists. Now today I understand. I understand fully, because if people are aware that the devil is real, they're not going to fall for the bullshit. They're going to go towards God. They're going to go towards the Quran. They're going to find true faith. Now, I also want everybody to keep in mind that everybody's on their own path. For me, this is what it took. It took me to see the devil, to realize God was real and was right there the entire time. And it's because I went through every single other faith and studied all these different religions where I know the Quran is true. I can confidently stand by the Quran and I can never look away from it. And this is due to my curiosity in leading into darkness and leading into the wrong path and falling on my face over and over again, is how I can fully say with confidence that the Quran is the truth. But I'm not sure, and I don't think anybody will ever know, if I was able to achieve the same result without going through all that failure. Was I able to just pick up the Quran and embrace it initially, or did I have to go through all this? Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is so more people can understand. As we get closer to November, we're going to be seeing more people do the same thing that I did. As things get darker, as things get more challenging, as the division gets greater, as the darkness gets blacker, we're going to see more people realize where the light is. And more people that you may think are off the deep end may turn around very quickly. And I've been seeing this through my own experiences. Just going out in society, you're seeing people open their eyes. You're seeing people come to the light a lot more than usual. In my situation, isn't uncommon. There was nothing unique about what I went through. And it's no surprise that we live in a pivotal point of history, but we are about to see a lot of people wake up.
SubhanAllah, I love that ending. We're going to see a lot of people wake up. Firstly, Islam as an intellectual argument stands way stronger than any other religion, 100%. I've done the same as him. I've been through so many religions. I've experienced, I've tried to become. I've been Hare Krishna, I've been Hindu, I've been Christian. I tried lots of random little ones here and there of people that I met, especially when I was in LA. I tried lots of different religions. Yeah, as an intellectual argument, 100% Islam stands the strongest. As a way of life, Islam stands the strongest. Everything. Islam stands the strongest in every sense. But I want to emphasize intellectual argument, because anyone who is going to compare all the holy scriptures with a mindset of logic and reasoning only, Islam will easily trump the other. It's super easy for it to do so. considering it's the only scripture that's fully preserved, and a million other arguments as well. So, this brother's story. When I said at the beginning of this video that I'd experiences I haven't actually experienced, like doing satanic rituals and things like that, but this brother made such a valid point. You know, he said that he had to go through all that in order to get to the point where he is now. That stood really strong with me, because often as reverts and as born Muslims, I'm sure you feel this way too. Maybe you fell off the path for a while, maybe you did some haram things or whatever it is that you did. We can often look back on our past and we can feel so much shame and guilt and regret, and it can easily seep up into our future and think. Mo Gaudot mentioned this in one of his videos, and he said that there's a study that when asked people who had traumatic pasts if they regret what happened to them in their past, more than 95% said no, because it led them to the destination they are now. And even if you're going through the most difficult time, I know what this is like. When you come out the other side, when you're really through the other side, you don't regret it, because it made you the person you are now. And Allah puts you through these tests and trials, not to break you, but to make you. And this is what happened to this brother. He was put through these trials. He did some things that he can't mention in these videos that are probably quite horrific and probably quite traumatizing, considering what kind of things people in Hollywood are doing all the time, some really disgusting illegal things, in order to get just a little bit in this world, a little bit of wealth, a little bit of love, or whatever it is. He had to go through that in order to get to be the person that he is now, realizing that, yes, what you went through was really awful, but this is where you are now. And I always talk about this in terms of becoming a mum. Becoming a mum was really hard for me. I struggled a lot when I became a new mum. The sleepless nights, especially with my ex-husband divorced me as soon as she was born, pretty much. There was just a lot I was going through, and I didn't have a place to live. It was so much in that one sort of first 3, 4, 5 months of Khadijah's life. I was struggling so much, and the new identity of becoming a mum. And I really thought it was going to break me. I genuinely thought it was going to break me. And there are still moments where I feel like I'm going to break. But here I am, the other side, and I become so much stronger, so much more resilient. I'm doing things I never thought I could do in terms of character and work. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I only work for like 1 hour a day. I work for 1 hour a day. And in that hour, I do so much. I do more in that hour than when I was... before I had Khadijah, when I just kind of didn't really have much responsibility. I chilled, I looked after the house, whatever. I really didn't do that much. And I pretty much had all day to get my work done. I did not work this much. In that 1 hour that I work, I get so much done, alhamdulillah, because I am a completely different person, just as an example. And that is irreplaceable. The way Allah can turn you into something incredible. When you come out the other side of it, you just feel so happy and you're so grateful for the experience, even though the experience was so tough. And there's this really amazing story about oysters, and how oysters actually, when they make pearls, which Allah talks about pearls in the Quran, by the way, and this is really interesting for me. Allah always mentions pearls as a beauty and a reward. Actually, when oysters make pearls, it's really painful for them. Sand goes and it irritates them, and it's painful, and it's so painful. And then eventually they make this pearl. But the thing is, not every single oyster makes a pearl. There are hundreds of thousands of oysters that never go through that pain, and they never make that pearl. Allah puts them through that pain and suffering and the beauty that comes out of it. And Allah talks about pearls in the Quran as beauty and reward. Allah puts us through this pain and suffering so that we get something beautiful out of it. I love this Islamic viewpoint on pain and suffering. SubhanAllah, Islam just stands so strong in so many aspects of life. But regarding the jinn and the black magic stuff, leave me out. I don't like this stuff. It freaks me out. SubhanAllah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Assalamu alaikum.